to do a serious one.
Yeah.
So joining you live from the World Championship 2023 in Barcelona, the Living Legend podcast.
Cool. So welcome back to the Living Legends podcast. I'm your host for today. My name's Az from Go Again Gaming, and joined as always by some fantastic folks here on the Living Legends podcast. We've got Bill, first of all. How's it going, mate? Sorted out your phone yet?
It's going pretty good. I am currently in talks to see if I can revisit a really nice plan that local internet service provider had offered me for a phone. But that's neither here nor there. That's not about flesh and blood, but it is something that I'm working on. There's a lot of things going on currently in my life, and that is one of them. The other one is that I'm here to talk about a lot of the new spoilers. We got a big glut of new spoilers for Rosetta, and I'm very excited about them. So I'm excited to talk about them today.
Yes, there's going to be a few bits that we can spoil, and a lot of sigils which sort of adhere to a piece of text on Acilio's weapon. But then we've also got Kel as well. How's it going?
Hello. My name is Kel, also known as Red Zone Rogue. I'm excited to talk about all these new cards, mostly because I actually haven't read most of them, so it's going to be like a fun first take on a lot of these cards. I've seen a couple of them, like the new Sigil of the Arc Knight, which is pretty cool.
Oh yeah.
But it'll be a fun little first take. And also, I would like to, before I forget, welcome everyone to the first video, at least, on the official new Living Legends podcast YouTube channel. This is the first video that's exclusive to this YouTube channel. And while you audio listeners out there, well, nothing changes. Nothing has changed for you. So, carry on. But for everyone else, welcome to the new YouTube channel with a new coat of paint, as you can see for the video version. But once again, for you audio listeners, you can't see this, but we've also changed the overlay a little bit, as kind of like sent me like an updated version, and I think it looks real crisp. So, yeah.
Yeah, sort of for the people that have watched for the longest time and listened to the longest time, you'd know sort of our play styles and what our favorite heroes are. And it's just basically, for the audio listeners, it's a border which represents each of our favorite classes. So me for Ranger, Bill for Illusionist, the Blue Illusionist, no light nonsense, the actual Blue Illusionist, and then Kel, Assassin, of course. So you can see all of those on there. But yeah, so this is going to be pretty cool episode today. Of course, we are going to revisit the comment section as well as we break into our new YouTube channel. We are going to shout out the people that were here from the very start, and we don't know how long we're going to be doing this for, because it does take up a big chunk, but it's nice to hear of the people that are turning up for the new YouTube channel. What was you going to say?
What I think we should do, because you said we don't know how long we're going to keep doing this. I think what we should at least do is we should at least have like a comment of the week or something like that. So even if we don't do all of them, I think we should at least cherry pick like a couple comments and then do like some comments of the week. So folks who are commenting, you can still kind of like pop up on episodes if we ever decide to trim it down a little bit. I think that'd be cool.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, we are going to continue doing that as well. But yeah, as time goes on, because you've had a lot of people come in from the audio versions and the YouTube as well, and comment on there. Like for instance, someone last week said that I'm an audio listener, but I came here just for the support sort of thing. So those people are great as well. So unless there's any sort of exciting stuff in Flesh and Blood, which we're going to talk about this week anyway, then we can just go straight on to the comments if you want to start there instead. Perhaps.
Yeah, sure.
Because we're going to speak about the new stuff anyway. We'll just crack straight onto that. And of course, we're going to be speaking about the new cards that were spoiled by a select number of creators. Spoiled some cards, as well as some marketing stuff as well, which was spoiled by LSS directly, or the new sigils. But yeah, so going back to the listeners and your comments, stories, and questions, we're going to go down the list here as quickly as we can with regards to last week's episode. So Canadian-sized, this person's name on here. My prized items in my collection are an Avalon playmat. So that's the... where was that from? That was from...
That's Dusk Till Dawn.
Yeah, it's the... I think it was exclusive to A Calling in the UK, actually.
Oh, the playmat itself? Ooh, good question. Good question. I don't remember exactly. I think it might be, or at least one of the European ones for sure. Either UK or somewhere else in Europe. Yeah.
Because randomly, I got because Fluke and Box wanted the playmat, so he basically paid for my entry that time. So it must have been UK because that's where I got it from. So, but yeah, Canadian side say my prized items in my collection, because last week we were speaking about collections, collectors week, people's favorite things in the game. They're liking it. They bought it, but I love the Death Fairy look and a Marvel Enigma New Moon that I pulled. So nice, good result pulling the Marvel New Moon.
That's very good.
So my only question is, how big is Canadian sized? Well, like
that's right. That's the question of the day.
Yep. How big is Canadian sized? Is it as big as like Texas sized, or is it more like, I don't know, like Maryland sized?
Yeah. And then they're saying also, on a different note, an episode or two ago, I think I remember you guys saying about having heroes rendered out. Would it be possible to get a link? It would save me time doing that myself. So that was I think you're referring to the hero cutouts that I added to, because Sloop Dupe had made a bunch of transparent hero cutouts, and then I added to that folder. So if you go on to Canadian Size, if you go on to Twitter, if you use it, or X, as you can see, and if you go on to Sloop Dupe's profile, I think they've pinned it to the top of their profile. Where you can go and get all of the hero cutouts. I'm still yet to add Aurora and the other heroes as well. So I have done those as well. Aurora took me absolutely ages with all of her silver flowing hair and all this. Took me ages to do. So we'll add that as well. Next comment comes from Hero Obano. I was actually shocked when I heard my comment being read. That's nice. Hopefully we can read more from yourself there. But yeah, good to be back. Daddy duties ramped like crazy. Baby turned into a toddler and did not have enough time to delve into the game. Now that things have settled, I saw LLP on its own channel, and thankfully I get to hear you three again. That's nice. I know there are other podcasts, but it's only you guys I listen to now.
Oh, hell yeah,
nice.
dude.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, exactly. So hopefully our approach is good. We're just three people that love the game in all of its aspects, as the intro that I forgot to say states most of the time. So yeah, and I now understand Red Zone Rogue has other games to review, but not having to look for the 11 Living Legends podcast saves time. So yeah, another great way and reason why we've done this is because it's all in one place and you can see it easy. So that's good. Sue Samé Carlton says, would be wild if we get an armory deck with a new hero and a new class. Nobody expects the Cleric Inquisition.
I actually dread Cleric in this game, because I have a feeling that, like, I don't know, I just like healing in Flesh and Blood is really strong, especially like comparatively speaking to some other like card games. And I'm just afraid of what a healing based class could do. They could maybe not do healing for Cleric, to be fair. They could do a lot of other stuff, but
yeah, I'm
still a little like I'm scared. I'm scared of what it might happen. It might make the grindy games even grindier. So we'll see.
So we might see that with oh geez, what's the new Earth Wizard's name? We might see that with her.
Verdant. Yeah. I was like,
Yeah.
it has something to do with plants, but not Briar. Don't say Briar. Don't say Briar. Yeah.
Yeah, it might make sense for Verdance, because she doesn't appear to want to gain large amounts of life. She wants like individual life gain triggers.
Yeah.
Like with her specialization that was revealed, it's 3 instances of gain 1 life. So it's the same as a red sigil, just specifically 3 different triggers so that her hero ability can trigger 2. So it might be possible that Cleric cares, if Cleric does happen, that Cleric cares about like bulk healing, which would probably be like pretty miserable.
That sounds so much worse.
Seems to care about, like, Verdance seems to care about, like, Verdance is a class that cares about healing, but it seems to be kind of more incremental. Like 1 point of healing is the same as 3 for the purposes of how the deck plays.
I've noticed Verdance has a strange, I don't know why. Oh yeah, I do know why. But she reminds me a lot of like the Fiendel stuff. She's green, like a lot of the Fiendel stuff, and all of the Fiendel related things gain you like 1 life. And as we're gonna see shortly, I think there's a new like Fiendel sigil or something that we're gonna talk about later. But
I think so, yeah.
yeah, like I don't know. That's an aside. Just reminds me of Fiendel. Lore reasons. I don't know. Maybe lore relevant, but just pointing it out.
No, I think that's probably not too far out of the way. Obviously, because of something like Heart of Fiendel cares about gaining 1 life when you're behind.
Yep. Fighting spirit.
Fiendel's fighting spirit. There you go. I think that's maybe it. Then there's Spring Tunic, which doesn't care about life gain, but you know.
But it's green. It is green.
It's green.
Yeah.
And spring. It's about plants and life and nature and whatever. So I'd be interested in a cleric personally. I know we've kind of dwelled on this for a little bit, but cleric is a class that I'd be interested to see just because I want to see what they would do. Interested.
Yeah, I wonder, like, I can see other things too. Like, they can just do, like, not healing and then go, like, oh, maybe Cleric is, like, the buff class or something, and they use, like, their holy powers to embolden...
Like auras.
Like, exactly.
Like
auras or, like,
Voltron
other
or
things.
something.
Yeah, I don't know. They could do a lot of stuff. It could be interesting. I'm with Bill. I want to see what they're going to do with it.
Yeah, because it's the only class left in the law book that hasn't been... is it? Can't remember.
Necromancer.
I don't have a law book. You do.
Cleric and Necromancer.
Necro as well.
Yeah, those are the two.
That's right.
Yeah. Oh, Alchemist. Cleric, Necro, and Alchemist. So there's actually three.
Alchemist.
There's three, yeah.
Oh, yeah, baby. Let's go.
Lena Bell when? Lena Bell when?
Annabelle, that's it. Yeah, sorry. Also, Annabelle. That's the horror doll film.
Creepy doll.
Yes.
Annabelle.
I've seen
Yeah.
all those.
Oh God, yeah. Part of the Conjuring universe, I believe, like Patrick Wilson. Anyway,
Is it?
I think so. Yeah.
Oh wow, I don't know that.
Yeah.
It's
the
a
same Ghost
spin-off.
Hunters, isn't it?
Yeah.
Same Ghost Hunters, yeah. Carrying on with the comments, Playtime TCG. Yeah, we've seen you around a lot. You've been following us for a while, so thanks for the comment. Thanks for being here on the new channel. My prize collection pieces are Cold Foil Tekla Foundry Heart, which took me quite a while to acquire, and my Young Dash playmat. I intend for these items to be with me for the rest of my life. Although, yeah, those are pretty sought out after items, right? A Young Dash playmat. I've never seen that before.
Cold Foil Foundry Hearts, probably like 1,000, 1,200 bucks, something like that. Probably around there if I have to remember.
Good one.
And then the Young
That's
Dash.
Arcane Rising first.
Yep, Arcane Rising first edition. And then the Young Dash, I'm not sure how you can get it. I want to say Sam Yang might have had. No, he didn't sell anything at his booth at Worlds. So I don't.
According to this Reddit post from a year ago, the Young Dash mat was a Worlds mat. So I have to imagine it's like an early Worlds mat.
Well, we mentioned this before, but like a lot of the Worlds mats, like for the first Worlds, they sold immediately because they didn't cap. They didn't cap the number. Yeah, exactly. And so some people just went there and just bought literally as much as they could carry. Which is unfortunate.
I'm looking on my card market, but I can't seem to find anything for it. But it's good that you got it nonetheless. Yeah, that's what we showed off a lot of our stuff last week. And again, it's a hero-centric game, so you want to acquire those pieces for your favorite hero, which is fair enough. I've got plenty of Azalea mats. We all know this. So yeah, definitely good stuff. Bad Buns 84 is saying, I feel like if Arachne had Captain's Call-like line that gave contract to stealth cards, it would really open up his playstyle. Even if did have a red, yellow, or blue individual Majestics to align with his current Majestic suite would be amazing. So Captain's Call that would give contract to stealth cards. That could be quite cool. Something that gives contract to something. But then
that would be kind of weird because all the contract cards have things on hit that they care about.
Different
it
stuff.
Would need to give it. It would need to give it like the whole amount of. It would be different if it was giving a contract card stealth, because stealth is just an ability word that doesn't have like additional rules text around it. And I could see that working, especially specifically for Arachne Solitary Confinement. To give cards with contract go again, essentially, at least your first one every turn. That would be cool. I would actually like to see that. It's for Blitz, obviously, but that'd be interesting.
Yeah.
It would have to be like, it would actually be really cool. Okay, come with me on this journey, right? So maybe they do this, and maybe it's at like either common or rare, so you have a full cycle. However, my suggestion is, how the cycles scale, right? So you have red, yellow, blue, and usually red has the biggest bonus, but blue has the most resources. Well, instead of having like a specific bonus, what if every single color has a different contract itself? So it's like your next stealth card gets contract whatever, and then the yellow one has the same thing but a different contract, and the blue one has the same thing but a different contract. That could be super cool. So you have 9 copies of cards that give contract, but they all give you different contracts. I think that could be some really cool design space.
Yeah, it would be like give your next thing on hit, banish the top card of your opponent's deck. If it's red, create a silver or whatever.
Yeah, so color contract almost.
Or even like you can do like attack actions, non-attack actions, and something else, reactions, for example.
That could be interesting.
Yeah, I don't know. It'd be cool. It could be cool. I like my own idea. I like it, but it was my own idea, so of course I like it.
Exactly. But yeah, that's good stuff. 6591 Aussie saying, I think if and when they bring Lexi back, she will be lightning only and ice only for Oldhim. Yeah,
that makes sense, but I want ice. I want an ice ranger, so I'm gonna.
I don't know though, because Lexi has Voltaire, but she also has Shiver. Shiver is an ice bow.
It's true,
isn't it? Really?
Yeah, I mean, like,
but then.
Lore wise, and then all the art, she's using Voltaire though, so I don't know if it's like Voltaire's her signature weapon and she's more lightning, and like her specialization's lightning and not ice, but she also does ice, so I don't know. It makes sense why she would be just lightning, but give me the Ice Ranger. I want the Ice Ranger.
I think
Ice Ranger, Lightning Guardian, make it happen. That would be cool.
Lightning Guardian. Wow, like Thor almost.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Dude, exactly. Like
Mjolnir.
The art on oh crap, what's it called? It's the 3-drop that gives your next Guardian attack like +1 dominate, and when it hits they have to discard cards. It has
Tear Asunder.
Yeah, it has like the dude like up and there's the parting of the clouds. Yeah, make that into like a Lightning Guardian. That'd be badass.
That'll be hilarious.
I'll finally start playing Guardian a lot if that happens.
It'd be it would just be the same as Tear Asunder, except instead of dominate, it's go again, and instead of discard a card, it's draw 3 cards and go again.
Okay. I thought you were gonna start reading off Starvo. I thought you were like, but instead of that, it's reveal 3 cards from your hand of different elements, and it's.
That'd be really funny, actually.
That's good.
Brilliant. Andy Rogers 5500 says, my favorite thing from Fab is our Armory group. They're a great group of guys. I'm lucky to have met them in the store. Some of them, some I know as refugees from Magic, and other non-CCGs like 40k. Several, however, I've met for the first time through Fab. They've led me to learn more about the game so I can be the best host, tournament organizer, and ambassador for the growth of the game in Alaska.
Oh, nice.
From Alaska, Living Legends podcast, which is still in the US, I believe. It's still a state in the US, right?
Alaska is a state. It's just like how Hawaii is also a state, even though they're not like connected to the continental US. It's weird, but they are. Yeah.
Exactly. Goblin Reserve coming in saying, I'm glad I've been able to start watching the videos. It was hard to watch longer videos when I was so behind on the other content, so it's good that you started again. I've really enjoyed your dynamic, all this talk about the Teklo guy and Teklo going potentially 2-0. What about the guy playing Viserai? Oh, you're talking about the league, Hank. Yeah, Hank's doing quite well in the league at the moment. So he's doing well at the moment. So at this point in time, haven't mentioned the league that means nothing yet because we've just gone straight onto this. But yeah, Hank at the moment, as you can see on both of the games, is 2-0 with his sort of turtle burst type Viserai deck, which is great. It can just do a lot of things and blocks really well, but also can build up all these massive rune chants to just blow someone out of the water and just pivot at any time. Plus, just good stuff really. So yeah, Carl is saying, Carl Horvath 3882, I should say. Currently, my favorite Fab items are my surgical extraction playmat. Arachne is best hero in my heart, and I got it in an armory raffle, and my custom Fab playmat and card sleeves of my doggo. Nice. I know a few people that have got dog sleeves with their like pets on and stuff. That's cool.
Dog Squad, rise up.
You haven't got potato sleeves. Have you got potato sleeves?
No, I don't. I do not have potato sleeves. That'd be pretty good though. She is really cute. I actually thought about commissioning like an artist friend to draw like
dog. Yeah.
to draw Potato or like to draw for. I mean, Robin's not going to watch this, so my partner's name is Robin, and I kind of want to commission like one of my artist friends to draw for Robin's like for our anniversary or birthday or something to draw Robin holding Potato. I think it'd be really really cute. So
It's a really good idea, actually.
yeah.
Awesome. A couple more comments then. So we've got Michael Welch 8068 subscribed, and I want to express my thanks for all the great content. I look forward to every episode. I recently left Magic and found my true home. Lol. So,
Yeah.
cheers for that comment. No shade on Magic. I enjoyed my time with it, and still enjoy playing Commander every now and again. But so a lot of people, during COVID and stuff, were experimenting with other games and stuff. And I found that a lot of people did come from Magic to play something more sort of 1v1, because a lot of it is Commander now, isn't it? Which is great.
To be fair to Magic, I've heard Standard is really good right now. I'm not going to say anything about Modern. I hear that's an absolute train wreck, but at least I've heard that Standard is really good. And I did watch an episode of Shuffle Up and Play where they played like Bloomborough Standard and like Reed Duke was on it. It was a pretty entertaining thing, so I'll give that to Magic,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. Anathos Gains Life is saying, my favourite fab pieces I use on a regular basis would be my cold foil Anathos. I know who this is. This is Andrew from the Go Again Gaming Discord. And my cold foil Bravo token for my weekly Blitz Armory. And I also have my rainbow foil Bravo Showstopper from back in the day. So where would that be from? Bravo Rainbow Foil Showstopper. That would be from first Welcome to Wraith, would it?
Yeah, but it wasn't given out at that time. It was a buy a box promo for, what is it, Arcane Rising or Crew? They made the Rainbow Foil Adult Heroes buy a box promos for like the second or third set. I know because I was buying, cases at the time, and I ended up getting it. Yeah, I got all of them by doing that. Basically, what you did is you got the Adult Heroes, and then they did all of the cold foil weapons for the first two sets. So that's how you get basically the Rainbow Foil Adult Heroes for the first two sets and the cold foil weapons for the first two sets. Were like buy box promos. I think I still have almost all of them. I might be missing one or two, but yeah.
Cool bits of fab trivia coming out from some of these questions, which is always good. So keep them coming in. But we still have a few more. So Right Time Gaming saying, with Flesh and Blood's 5th birthday coming up, what was your favourite birthday party food as a kid? Being from this side of the world, fairy bread, which is basically white bread with butter and sprinkles cut in triangles, and Cheerios, mini sausages, not the American cereal, with tomato sauce. Interesting. Thanks for the context there as well, because I thought Cheerios would be the cereal, but all the crisps or whatever they are, But yeah, favorite birthday party food. Go.
I mean, this is the most basic and based answer. Pizza. Come on, you can't get better than pizza.
Pretty easy to do pizza. The thing that's interesting though is that I'm intrigued by fairy bread. I am obviously myself not Australian. I'm
New
very
Zealand.
intrigued by
He's from New Zealand.
Or sorry, yes, New Zealand. That's
Ian's gonna be like,
and I apologize in advance.
He's gonna be like really offended.
I retract my statement. Although I think it is an Australian thing too. I will.
It might be.
I'm just gonna double check. I think it is also technically. I'm trying to dig myself up here. But anyway, I'm intrigued by fairy bread. But my favorite like birthday party snack that we had in Canada was as bad as it is. Safeway sheet cake. Just like these big. Yeah, Safeway's just a local grocery store. Just like a Canadian.
Yeah, we used to have them here as well, but.
Oh, really? Interesting.
Yeah.
All right.
But was it? Sorry, what did you say? What did you say it was? Something cake.
Sheet cake. So it's
cake.
just fairy bread. It's just white bread with butter and hundreds and thousands.
All right.
They might call them something different, but yeah. But yeah, so you can get these big cakes that just are from the bakery department or whatever, and they have this like super mega sweet icing, and they're like as cake, objectively very medium, but it doesn't matter. I love it. It's so good.
Oh yeah. I'm looking at it now. Vanilla sheet cake with cream and other things on it sprinkled on there. Yeah. Nice.
Or alternately, Dairy Queen ice cream cake with the fudge crunch center. That's good stuff.
Nice.
Oh, yeah.
I think you might be a little saved here because it does say often served at children's parties in Australia and New Zealand. So
Okay.
Ooh, okay. Yeah, not bad.
Saved.
Nice. Well, something that I used to have as a kid at birthday parties. This might just be a tradition that I've had in my family, but I used to have these cocktail sticks. And what was on the cocktail sticks was a piece of cheese, like cheddar cheese, and then a pineapple on it. And used to eat it,
Ooh.
and used to get the mature, savoury flavour of the cheese, but also the sweet sort of pop in the mouth of the pineapple. So it was like a very, very sort of contrasting little thing. That's what I used to remember the most of because I absolutely love cheese. Cheese is my thing.
Oh,
I could eat
hell
blocks
yeah.
of cheese out the fridge on their own.
Yeah.
yeah.
In fact, I did that earlier before I came on this podcast. Just got the mature cheddar out and sliced a little bit of it and just ate it.
Oh, dude.
That's
The aged sharp cheddar. I like the extra
yeah.
sharp. Oh, dude, that's the best.
Yeah.
it just crumbles, doesn't it? It crumbles because it's so strong. Well,
It's
it does
so
over
good.
here anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This might offend some people, but hey, we did that too. It's called pineapple pizza. You put the pineapples on the pizza, so you get the cheese with the pineapple, but also you get the red sauce and the other stuff. I am a pineapple pizza, a Hawaiian pizza apologist. I think it's great, and you can fight me.
It's a good combo.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good
I
combo.
mean, it's just generally speaking, I think really sweet things pairs really well with like savory stuff or like a little bit of like salt. I've been a big fan of like these really expensive cookies that I've been buying from the store recently, and they put like a tiny bit of salt on it, and it's just so good. It's so good.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you can get chocolate with like sea salt on it as well, so it complements it quite well. So yeah, I definitely agree with that. But yeah, nice question, Ian. Cheers for that, mate. Lieber Noodle was saying fun topic. So again, going on the collections thing, my favourite 3 items are Dromai Artist Proof from Federico Musetti,
Nice.
Marvel Chromai given to me at my first armory by a very generous local player, and then a Christmas Ashwing custom Aether Ashwing token drawn by my 10-year-old daughter. It's really cute.
Nice.
Lovely.
Oh, I love to hear that. That's great.
Yeah. So Fab just permeating the entire family there, getting your daughter to draw some Aether Ashwings. Fantastic, lovely old job. Love to see it. Watafak Matafak, I think they commented on last week's as well because it was a hard one to pronounce. Promised if we get you to 500 subscribers, you will start streaming UPF games. People need that. Think about the kitchen table players. So I responded to this as well. I said, yeah, we can do it. So that's something we have to do now if we reach 500. Is do a streamed UPF game.
We're at like 300 and something now, so we're getting close already. Getting close already.
Getting close already. Yeah, we're getting there. Speaking of getting there, we're getting there to the end of these comments now. They continue as well. They need to make fab novels, books, pen on paper style things. We've been an advocate for that for a while. I think they do need to expand that, and they have said themselves that they are expanding the lore team or the creative team in that regard. But we are yet to see the outcome of it. So hopefully it is in the pipeline. We'll see.
Yep.
Tam Calablam saying, I'm a fairly casual gamer, so I don't have a lot of blinged out decks or exciting, expensive stuff. But what I can say, my most exciting pulls for me was a Singularity, some good stuff for Teklo, and an Enigma New Moon, good
Nice.
stuff. And I subbed to all 3 of you for maximum Flesh and Blood content. So they subbed to Go Again Gaming, Spike Feeders Fab, and Red Zone Rogue as well, of course. So that's good. Bill took me the longest as I was subscribed to the wrong Spike Feeders for a while.
she's like, what the hell is all this magic content? What's a Bloom Burrow?
Yeah. Oh, brilliant. It's fantastic. And then, just a couple more here. What was you going to say?
Sorry, just a second. I just have to step away for a second, but I'll be right back.
Yeah, no props.
He's going to go figure out what a Bloom Burrow is and come back and tell us.
Exactly, yeah. I might as well just carry on reading the comments out then.
Yeah.
I'll just carry on reading the comments out. So Bill stepped away for a little second here. John Randall Dackerson is saying 98. Sorry, he's not saying 9803. That's the name there. So John Randall Dackerson 9803 is saying, I suspect the Armory deck is Terra. Makes the most sense post Rosetta release to have Terra as the guardian, a legal guardian in CC. This is what you said as well, right?
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense to me too. they have all of the Earth support, but they don't really have the Guardian support in Rosetta, and it makes sense to kind of like round it out because we're missing the Guardian, right, from the original Tales of Aria. So, yeah, and basically, I'll be honest here, Terra just looks like a Earth version of Oldhim, right? It's like they cut off the Earth part, made that his own character, and it ended up being Terra. So, yeah.
Yeah. There was a funny meme I saw on the internet, which was like, so they had Oldhim side by side by Terra. So they had both pictures there. So Oldhim's obviously this big block of ice. You got stalagmite in one hand, and obviously you got Terra with the earthen hammer and all this sort of stuff. And it said, global warming is real.
I have not seen that, but that's really good. That's really good.
Yeah, you could just see it, can't you? Like, you know, all the ice has melted.
Yeah.
All this green underneath.
Bro, hey, I'm feeling it. It's been super, super hot here in Oregon recently. Everyone is like, traditionally speaking, they're like, oh, Oregon's cold and rainy. Bro, no, it's been like 80, 90. It's been brutal here.
Tough.
Like,
yeah.
And I know like the UK gets really hot too. And similarly to Oregon, y'all don't typically have like AC units, right? Like built into the houses. Like same for Oregon.
No, we don't.
It's just it's brutal. That's one of the reasons why like sometimes when it's really hot here and I have the opportunity to travel, all of the hotels that I end up staying in have like the AC. So I just first thing I do,
crank it up,
turn that AC on, man. Like it's nice.
Absolutely. You can't see it or hear it due to the noise cancellation, but I do have a fan right next to me as well. 'Cause it's still hot, even though it's like 5 to 12 in the evening. It's still quite hot and humid here at the moment.
I have a little Toshiba unit here that has like a tube going to the window for my studio. That's what the AC I have. It's like it's okay, but it's not the same as like central air. Not the same.
Yeah, at least it's sucking the hot air out and just blowing it out to the outside at least. But
it's trying its hardest.
Yeah, so
trying its hardest.
Yeah, trying its hardest. Yeah, and then last but not least, comment on last week's video. So wrapping up the comments now before we go into the spoiler cards, and that is Big Boss Book Club. So Tom saying that he loves getting the cameo mentions on the show, because I mentioned last time that you can get Azalea Armory decks from Tom. Welcome back, Bill.
I have returned.
Yeah, returned. So yeah, another thing as well that I can announce as well, in tandem with Big Boss Book Club, aka Tom, has a game shop called Void Games, and it's up north in the UK in a place called Crewe. And he gave us the news recently on the Go Again Gaming Discord channel that he has been allocated a ProQuest to run.
Nice.
The first time. So I'm going to be streaming the event. So I'm going to be traveling up there and streaming the whole event. Maybe having a commentary booth set up so I can just do it solo, just for people that want to watch a ProQuest. They can. And it's the first time his store has done it. So I want to try and shine as much light on it as possible so he can get more going forward.
Nice.
So yeah. It's nice to see that, because Tom's been in Go Again Gaming Discord, supported the channel for a long time. It's nice to see it all come back round full circle. Now I want to try and shine a light on his stuff, because he's been there for the longest time for me. So I'm going to go up there and do the stream and everything. And hopefully it means you can get some more, because ProQuests are always good for your shop, because they bring in people from outside that, Flesh and Blood is a bit of a try-hard game sometimes, but it's good for your shop. You get new people in. You get products sold for people that just want to buy, impulse buy when they're there, and it's just good to have vibes in the shop. Running a ProQuest is a good thing to have. So
yeah.
That's good fun. But apart from that, that's pretty much all the comments this week. And again, I don't know how long we are going to read all of them. And I do still want to encourage people to leave comments, because it does help the YouTube algorithm and all of this, although it's I've always said that I don't really care about it, but it is something that does help the channel in the long run. So definitely leave a comment and we'll try and read it out for as long as we can going forward. But yeah, it seems to be little bits, like someone else said on the last podcast, they do seem to be drip feeding more news, more spoilers, more little bits that we can talk about in between, because sometimes there was like nothing to speak about Luckily, Living Legends podcast has always been good at just chatting shit all the time.
It's true. That is true.
We do that. Yeah.
So, yeah, the comments, stories, and questions, and your engagement is always good to start these episodes off in this new channel fashion. So we are going to continue to do that. But to what extent? If we get hundreds of comments, we can't do that. But luckily, we can run through. We can run through 15, 20 comments in about half an hour, 40 minutes, and then just carry on with the rest of the episode, which we can condense going forward. I think it's just a nice idea, and there's been nice little discussion points and stuff in there. So continue doing that, please. That'd be great. But yeah, so on to the main topic, which is I think this could be the title. We'll see what we decide. But are we Team Lightning or are we Team Earth? So this is the piece of marketing which was put out by Flesh and Blood recently. So are you Team Lightning or are you Team Earth? Now it's hard to really make a decision because you haven't seen all the cards yet. But from the aesthetics and the feel of what we have seen so far, we can potentially give an answer at the moment, and maybe we can change that answer as we see the whole set. So are you Team Lightning or are you Team Earth? Obviously, Team Lightning consists of Auxilio, the Lightning Wizard, Aurora, the Lightning Rune Blade, and then Earth is Florian, which is the Earth Rune Blade, or the Elemental Essence of Earth Rune Blade, and then the Earth Wizard, or Elemental Wizard Essence of Earth, I should say. So yeah, looking at the heroes so far, the cards that have been spoiled, the aesthetics, the feel, the flavor, the art, what are we so far? What are we leaning on the side of?
My answer is complicated because I'm taking into account all 4 of the heroes. And so my initial response is Lightning, because Lexi is one of my favorite heroes of all time, like top 3, probably top 5. Let's say top 5. And I like the Lightning side. I mostly played like Lightning Lexi for my Blitz deck. It's mostly like just all aggro Lightning Lexi. But I also really like Aurora too. She looks really cool. Silver hair. I really dig her vibes. She looks awesome. She's just the kind of character that I end up gravitating towards a lot. But Auxilio is just like a big electric pylon, and I'm not. He doesn't really vibe with me, to be honest.
Same.
Just like Zerath / pylon doesn't really like do much for me. And so then I look at Earth, and I actually like both of the Earth heroes. They both look really cool. Florian looks awesome, and then Verdance, she looks great too. And so like I think my favorite out of the 4 is Aurora, but if I have to take it as a package deal, maybe Earth. I might be actually Earth, and that's funny because I don't really plan on if I had to play any of these heroes, I'll probably play Aurora, maybe Florian. Well, we'll see.
Yeah.
But if you just tell me like which of these do you prefer more from just these 2 categories, probably Earth, which is weird. Yeah. Which is weird. It's just I don't know. Like Earth, I like 100% of the characters. Lightning, I like 50% of the characters. 100% is bigger than 50%. Even if you account the extra bonus liking of Aurora, I'll give you another 25% bonus. That's still 75% versus 100%. So that's where I am. How about you guys?
What do you reckon, Bill?
It's interesting because I am kind of in the same general boat that Kel is, but of the 4 heroes, I think I'm actually least excited by Aurora, which is weird because I also love Lexi and I love Lightning. I love Ranger. Like it's all like, this is something that is known about me, I think at this point, but like, I think Auxilio is actually like super sweet because especially in his like Marvel art, he's just a wall. He's just like he's the Wizard of Oz. If he wasn't a dude behind a curtain and he was instead just the door that they came up to in the Wizard of Oz. I think that's hilarious. I think that there's a new lightning card, that instant aura, that whenever you deal damage for the first time each turn, draw a card. I think that card is nuts, bonkers, insane, crazy. And it works really well with like what Auxilio appears to want to do, like with his staff and everything so far. Yeah. So like I like that, but I also really like Florian and Verdance. They just seem like really cool play styles. Like I was saying with Verdance, the like incremental and trigger on life gain things seem really intriguing. And yeah, life gain as a mechanic hasn't been like explored as a main part of any heroes as of yet. It's just kind of been incidental that you add life gain into your deck. Like she might play blue Sigil of Solace for all we know, because it's a blue and she's a wizard, so she probably cares about having a lot of resources. And the difference between gaining 3 life and gaining 1 life is kind of negligible when you trigger off of it anyway. The upside of it being more resources may actually like overwhelm the fact that it's less life gain. And I think that even just considering that, I think that's really interesting. And then yeah, Florian just being so hot. Like, let's be real for a second.
Hey, I want to go. I want to go with my goth boyfriend out to see a horror movie, and then afterwards we're gonna go to Denny's, and then go smoke some weed. Like that's that's what I want to go hang out with my buddy Florian.
He is an Earth hero, so you know.
Exactly. Partake in the natural ecosystem, man.
So yeah, but yeah, ultimately, I think randomly Earth wins out this time. Even though, like, but again, like, it's not because I don't like the lightning heroes. I think I'm just least inspired by Aurora, and that may change depending on like what cards get revealed for her and like all the additional things. But
I think that's good because it balances the Aurora simping that's going to be going on from Az and myself. So like we got a nice balance here. Though the more I think about it, the more I really like Florian. Florian might just be like my number one choice for this set. Like I was actually when Bill was talking, I was thinking, I was like, I might not buy a lot of sealed product, but I'm wondering how much would it cost for me to just be like, hey, Jim from FABTCG cards, how much can you just give me like a full set of like the Runeblade and Earth Runeblade stuff from the set? How much would that actually cost? Probably not too much, right? I don't know.
Yeah.
So
you might pay in a little bit of like maybe a bit of a premium for like the assembly of the set. You know, like it wouldn't just be the price of the cards; it would be a little bit extra because of just specifically getting those cards. But it probably wouldn't be too bad. I can use my
10% off promo code at FABTCGcards.com, which is available to all of my patrons, including myself. So not shilling, but also shilling.
Yeah, absolutely. Not sponsored, just a fan. But yeah, we should all contact Jim from FABTCG Cards and see if he's willing to do that. Put together a special deal for Florian lovers.
Like actually though, like Jim's a great dude, and he's like an old school pillar of the Flesh and Blood community. He's been playing almost as long as I have, maybe the same amount. I don't remember exactly when he started, but he's a great dude. And if you're in the States, shipping's great. He's really fast. Buy from FABTCG Cards. He's awesome. So, yeah.
Yeah. To be fair, like even people that order from him to get delivered in the UK, like Tom, for instance, Big Boss, swears by it. Shipping's really quick and the prices are good. And Jim gets nice little care package that you get like a. And plus a load of stickers and that as well, which are always nice. Packages them really well, and the shipping, the cardboard shipping things that you use, the shipping shield, maybe I think they're called. But yeah, it's great stuff all round, really.
I think your mic died.
Huh?
Yeah. It cut out for a second, and now you're like clipping. You're like really loud.
Yeah, I think what happened is your main mic died, and it did like a backup, like integrated mic or something. That's what it sounds like to me.
Let me just check quickly. So we're just going into user settings right now. I'm just going to have a look.
Yeah, I had to manually apologies to everyone. I'll try to fix it in post. But I had to manually turn down Az to like 80% here in the Discord.
Oh, wow. So am I still really loud, or am I back now?
Well, you're not. You're still the same loud mic. I just manually turned you down. It sounds kind of like crunchy a little bit. It's definitely a different mic, I think.
How strange. We'll just make a note of this timestamp then.
Yeah, we can proceed with the podcast, but you'll just have like a crunchy.
Yeah.
I just manually adjust your volume. You have a crunchy little mic for the rest of the episode.
Let me just change something now. We're getting the behind the scenes experience. Now I'm going to change my microphone to my webcam quickly. So I have now changed it to my webcam microphone instead.
Okay. Yeah. Now you're way quieter than you were. But
now House is like, can't hear me.
now we've lost him.
Yeah, you just can't hear him at all.
But now can't hear me at all.
Oh, now
we can.
Now we can, but it's
crunchy again though.
Now it's the crunchy mic.
Oh, it's weird. Okay.
Yeah, it should be fine for now. It's not
Right.
not too bad.
Okay. So maybe my gain just went through the window or something. Not sure what happened there. But yeah. So speaking of what team we're on, these guys have chose Team Earth. By the looks of it.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah. Yes, I think ultimately I'm on Team Earth, but it's again not because I don't like lightning. I actually think all 4 of these heroes are really sweet.
Oh yeah.
And the more I think about it, the more I'm probably just gonna go Florian. And I'm like, I have like all of the stuff, like the old stuff to make him really sweet. Like I have the Mordred Tides and all this cool stuff, Spellbound Creepers. So I'm probably just gonna
chant stuff. Yeah.
Probably just gonna do Florian and try to do some big old rune chant, shenanigans. Yeah.
Yeah. Good stuff. Well, to no surprise to anybody, I'm Team Lightning, for sure. So from the moment I saw Aurora and the sort of feelings that she invoked in me with regard to mainly the sword, mainly the weapon, which has now been spoiled, the Starfall sword. I was just like, yeah, this is a bit of me. So I think the decision is basically based on that. However, I do also like in Slay the Spire. I've mentioned this before. I do also like the Defect character.
Okay.
So this character in Slay the Spire builds up these quote unquote could be sigil like things that then stay around it, and then every turn you get some value out of it from doing different things, which is potentially what Acilio looks like he could be doing, as well as some wizard stuff. So it'd be interesting to see how Acilio plays in comparison to things like Kano that we've seen before, the stupid pop-off Kano stuff. It'll be interesting to see whether Acilio wants to do that same sort of strategy with regards to the one-turn kill Blazing Aether style stuff, because they can still access Blazing Aether, can't they? I think.
Yeah. I mean,
yeah.
The thing is like Wizard, other than Icelander, really hasn't had like talented stuff. So like all the Kano stuff, you can literally put a Kano deck into Acilio minus his hero ability and specialization.
Blazing Aether is a Kano specialization specifically.
Oh, Blazing Aether, yes. I thought you meant Aether Wildfire, but yes, Blazing Aether. Yes.
That's what I meant.
Yeah,
that's what I meant. Yeah, Blazing Aether is the one that deals X arcane damage, where X is the arcane damage dealt. But then Blazing
Aether Wildfire.
Aether Wildfire is the enabler, isn't it? That one. So I'm interested to see how Acilio plays as well, because I'm very, very much a fan of the Defect, which I get another feelings from. So all my choices, mainly in this game, are based off of feelings, really, and emotions, rather than actual rationality, which is basically just my life in general. Anyway, I
mean,
I go by pure emotion.
I like
logic.
I like start there. That's like my starting point, right? I'm like, this is my starting point, and I kind of narrow things down from there, and then I go from like, what am I actually going to enjoy from that point on? That's kind of how I pick decks in like every card game that I play. I'm like, because if there's a character that I just don't like, I'm not gonna play it. Like, I don't care if it's the best deck, I'm just not gonna play it, because I'm gonna spend so much money and time on it and just not like the character. That's not for me. So
exactly. Yeah, same here. And I don't know whether you can. I think Azalea is basically an aggro deck, but I want to make an aggro deck, and I think. You want
to go wide. You want to go wide.
Yeah, really wide. And I think Aurora might do that, but also with some cool sort of Runeblade weapon swings as well, and arcane damage thrown in, which I think just could be quite cool. It'd be interesting to see whether Aurora wants to just race, or whether she has some other interactions involved as well, with the instant stuff and the channel lightning valleys and all of that sort of thing, and creating embodiments of lightning on your opponent's turn to then buff up your next turn, or just saving those embodiments, swinging your sword, and then just banking your all your next cards for the next turn. So it'd be interesting to see whether she wants to race or wants to do anything else different to other aggro decks, but she does seem just lightning aggro. So we'll see what other cards are going to be released for her, but I'm very excited nonetheless, and we'll build her nonetheless. Doesn't matter whether she's good or not.
I mean, she'll probably be pretty good, I have to say. Though it's interesting, I was listening to an interview with Brian Gottlieb, and someone said something along the lines of, what will Rosetta's impact be on the metagame? Will it be similar to Mistveil or something else? And he said, not as impactful as Mistveil, probably closer to heavy hitters, which I find very, very interesting as we kind of talk about these cards. So just something I wanted to point out. Yeah, that was Fresh and Bud's podcast, wasn't it? Tommy was doing it, wasn't he? Yeah. So that's funny actually that you mentioned that, actually, because I said to because Tommy does like listener questions. He says submit your listener questions in the Buds Discord. So I'm part of the Buds Discord for Tommy Fresh and Buds, and I had a statement in there. I put, this is not a question, it's a statement. We all love you, Brian Gottlieb. Continue doing great work. And Tommy read that out, and then Brian was like, "Oh, cheers, Az. By the way, I'm interested in the Osaka to Kyoto bike ride." Yeah.
So there could be a world where in the vlog for the Osaka to Kyoto bike ride, Brian Gottlieb might randomly be on it. You know, so stay tuned to that. We're still hashing out the details. I've made him aware that I need to plan it all. I need to go to a bike rental place and figure out the route and all this. But he knows he's going to have to get up very early to get to Kyoto on a bike. It's about a 50-kilometer bike ride there, and then we have to get back the same day unless we stay overnight, which is another plan that might be being floating around as well. But we'll see. But stay tuned for that. It's going to be interesting. The vlog for the bike ride, nonetheless. Where was I going with this? What happened? You said about
we were talking about our lightning or earth,
the impact on the metagame.
Oh yeah, then I mentioned that.
Yeah, that's right. So it'll be interesting to see like what the impact is. That's the thing as well, right? I don't know if Aurora is just another straight aggro deck. How does that beat Zen? It doesn't. There is no world where you can race that.
I mean, there is a world where you race it, and it involves unbanning like ball lightning. So I don't know if they're gonna do that.
Let's go.
Ball lightning is insane. But I was also thinking, like in terms of like Brian's comments on that, that tells me that they expect a couple of the heroes to be very strong, and then the other ones to maybe not have their home quite yet. Because that's basically what heavy hitters was, right? We had a couple heroes that are strong, and then the rest of them didn't really do a ton of stuff, like your Betsy's and your Spartan Mans, whose name I forgot already.
Olympia,
yeah. And then we have Mistveil, and all three of the heroes in Mistveil are like kind of cracked. Obviously Zen is the most cracked, but we saw New at top tables Pro Tour. We saw Enigma, top tables Pro Tour, Zen. So all three of them are like top table Pro Tour heroes. And then I started thinking Florian. So one, I like Florian, right? But also he's the only hero so far whose hero ability is adjusted for being an adult hero versus being a young hero. And they did that for a reason, right? They did that because he's probably actually insane if it's just the young hero version, right? They had to be like, okay, we need to adjust this for balance reasons because he's like cracked in half. So that made me like think, I'm like, okay, so wait, is Florian the busted one from Rosetta? I don't know, maybe. He's cool, and even if he sucks, I want to play my goth boyfriend. So yeah, but yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens with it. And it's only around the corner now. It's only next month, I think it comes out soon.
Early September.
I don't know.
September. Yeah, it's the Tampa dates. The world premiere is Tampa dates, but I can't remember what they are. But Speaking of heavy hitters and cards that might make an impact, there were some spoilers which we're going to go into very, very briefly. Some of which are a load of these sigils that we've alluded to, and some are just new cards for new classes in the expansion slot. So, do one of you have, or do you have the February page up so we can maybe?
Yes, I do.
Maybe take. Cool. So the first one that I will read out is from the expansion slot, which was spoiled by Savage Lands News, which is a channel based on Brute stuff, of course. This was Splatter Skull.
Oh,
so this was the new Brute action.
Yeah, I kind of hate this card. not because it's bad, but because it.
Ian playing it on you.
Ian is gonna use this against me, and it's gonna make me very sad. That's why I hate this card. He's gonna use it, and it's probably gonna be coming in for 8 because it's got +2 from Blood Rush or some crap, and yeah, it's gonna hurt me. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is a Brute action attack, although it could be a Rhinar specialization because Rhinar is the one that cares about this. So this is a 2-costed Brute action attack. Attacks for 6, so a 2 for 6 is always good. It's a great chain ender, and this is a great chain ender in Rhinar, and it blocks for 3 as well. Yep. So if you can end your turn with this card rather than like something like you probably end it with something like a Swing Big or a CNC. There's arguments to be made for what your 2-cost chain ender is in a Brute deck, but this is great synergy piece for Rhinar. Because it says when this hits a hero, choose a face down card in their banish zone that was banished by Intimidate this turn. Put it into their graveyard. So that's pretty sick because you want to be intimidating a lot.
Yeah. Like, can you imagine going
God. I just thought of something.
Like barraging this.
Bro, like barraging this pummel. Like, goodbye. Your turn is just gone. Like,
oh yeah, you can do it. You can do that with a 5-card hand as well, can't you?
Arsenal, Arsenal that pummel.
Yeah, you can have it Arsenal.
Oh god.
But yeah, no, this is just a hand interaction for Brute, like permanent hand interaction for. I guess again specifically Rhinar because none of the others really care about intimidating that much. But yeah, this being like first of all, it's this Command and Conquer stat line. It's a 2 for 6 that blocks 3. Like that's already like the standard for a pretty okay card, and this effect is great. It like kind of incentivizes your opponent to want to make it not hit, which then makes them block with more cards from their hand, which means that they don't have cards in their hand. Like it's you either lose 1 card for sure. If they've intimidated, or you lose like at least 2, or like 1 plus a bunch of equipment. Like this is like such an awkward card to block. This is going to do a lot of numbers, and it's going to make people really mad.
This is the throw all of your fridge and probably most of your hand, if not all of your hand, in front of this stupid card. Otherwise, you're just not going to have a hand anyway, and you'll have also taken 6 or whatever.
Yeah, I think it's really good. It's there's going to be some arguments and debates as to what 2 costs you take out because stuff like CNC is great at just blowing up arsenals if it hits, but I think this is more synergistic for Rhinar because obviously all those cards that you've banished this turn, whether that's through barraging, whether that's through discard a card, intimidate through Rhinar's ability, etc. You're stripping away cards from hand, which obviously devalues their next turn. So in the racier matchups, I think this is probably better than stuff like CNC and what have you, because you are taking cards away from their hand, which is also their resources as well. Destroying arsenals is great, but that's just a 5-card hand, turned into a 4-card hand if you crack back. But if you're taking away cards from their hand, I think it's a lot better. Plus, you're intimidating anyway, so it's just a nice synergy card, synergy payoff card, which I think Rhinar needs really. He just doesn't really do much at the moment. The output isn't as good as KO or Levia, the other 2 brutes that can that stand toe to toe with the meta at the moment. So yeah, something like this could help, but I'm not a brute expert, so I wouldn't know. But I think it's just more synergistic, which is nice. But Ian, what do you think? Leave a comment section below.
Yeah.
Let us know. You're going to be chucking Splatska on your deck? I bet you will, because you love taking cards
I mean,
away from my hands.
it seems really good. It forces interaction, which is really good. So, I don't know. I think it's great.
Yeah, I think we're seeing a lot of this now, forcing interaction, like the felling of the crown card, which cares about things being in your banish zone. I'll get it right this time, I think. I think it's banish zone when it turns itself on.
Yeah.
But because someone was like, "Oh, Az doesn't know what he's talking about."
It's funny because we literally caught it later, and we were like, "Someone's gonna say this. Someone's gonna be like, oh, Az doesn't know what he's talking about." Yeah, that's good.
Luckily, I can take it. Come on, hit me with some more abuse. I love it. Anyway, so yeah, so that's a pretty cool card. And then the next one, which is more expansion slot cards, is Flutter Steps. Bill, do you want to read this one out? Have you got this one in front of you?
I do, and I would. So Flutter Steps is a Illusionist equipment legs. So these are the shoes in the expansion slot for Illusionist. They have Ward 1, and when this is destroyed, you may play your next aura this turn as though it were an instant, which I think is very interesting. I personally am not a big aura player, so I don't really have the play style necessarily like fully in my mind, but the ones that I think about for this are the blue auras from Everfest, being able to put like a Pierce Reality, or I'm trying to remember the names of the other ones, but all of the ones that have really, really good effects, but usually eat up your entire turn to play them. Having the upside of it just being like, okay, now this is in play after whatever. This is specifically really good for Enigma New Moon because it's a piece of equipment that you can run with Ward, so it makes you 3 Spectral Shields when you flip it up, and allows you to play an instant or allows you to play an aura for free. So like, I think these are actually pretty good. It's hard to say if it will see it play over the existing feat that Illusionists currently have access to, because they're really just the class of shoes. There are so many, like, it feels like there's so many good shoes for Illusionists.
I was gonna say it's like Illusionist is the class for the feet enjoyers.
The feet class. That's right. Absolutely.
Yeah, good old feet enjoyers. Footfinder.com.
Absolutely.
Or wiki feet. That's the one that people meme about.
Brilliant.
But yeah, I do think that this effect is really good though. Like being able to essentially give you an action point. And with Enigma New Moon, you can kind of choose when it's an action point for you. So it won't necessarily always be under attack, kind of like Celestial Kimono, which incidentally also pretty good with Enigma New Moon as far as I'm aware. But so she seems to have some like it's kind of unfortunate because the whole having your equipment stealthed is like supposed to lead to kind of like a what am I playing sort of play style, but these feel like they're kind of the best in slot, or at least approaching best in slot. So it's possible that they'll just have like a set 4 that is like super good.
Yeah, that's pretty sick. Nice to see more expansion slots come in. Be interesting to see how it actually fits into decks at large. I was thinking that when I was thinking you may play something as an instant, I was thinking, maybe you can play something with Go Again, but then it's when it's destroyed, you may play your next thing as an instant. So you have to find the auras that care about being played on your opponent's turn, so you have it going into your turn, perhaps. I don't know that what is available, because I'm not really into Illusionist that much. But again, let us know in the comments below, but it looks cool nonetheless. And then we have the sigils that were spoiled. I think that's pretty much everything else which was spoiled this week.
Let me I believe so. Yeah, we have a whole bunch of sigils too. There's like one, because like there's like Sigil of Sanctuary, Deadwood 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We have 8 sigils, so we got a lot of sigils to talk about.
Yeah, I mean we can whiz through this pretty quickly, because without saying the context of the set, we don't know how impactful these are, apart from Auxilio's lightning rod weapon. That's the only context that we have which mentions sigils at the moment. So if we read out the Volzar lightning rod, get one last time before we go into the sigils here. And we will speed run these sigils because they just do little things here and there. We don't know the context yet, but it just says Volzar Lightning Rod is if you control an aura permanent with sigil in its name, this costs 1 less to activate. So yeah, if you control 1 sigil, you're going to be able to activate it for free at instant speed. Where you can amp X, where X is the number of lightning cards you've played this turn. So if you have one of these sigils out that we're going to mention, you can amp X, where X is the number of lightning cards you played this turn. And amp gives your next thing that deals arcane damage plus X. So if your card says this deals 3 and you've amped 3, it's going to deal 6 instead. That's what amp does. So the sigils will allow you to play that ability for nothing if you have one out. So yeah. The first one, have you got one up there, Cal? You can read out first of all.
Sure, I'll go from the top down. And I believe the first one here, February has already sorted them according to the set number. I think the first one on here is Sigil of Sanctuary. This is an Earth instant aura. It's a 0-cost blue pitch card. It has Arcane Shelter, which is a new keyword. So it has Arcane Shelter 1. If you would be dealt arcane damage, destroy this to prevent 1 of that damage. So it's just kind of like it's like ward, but only for arcane damage, basically. And when this leaves the arena, create an embodiment of Earth token. Pretty simple card. It's an instant, like I said, prevents 1 arcane damage, and then you get your embodiment of Earth when it leaves. Yep.
Yeah. So it's a new keyword for you, Bill. Arcane Shelter.
Yeah, I think it's interesting because it's just ward, but quote unquote worse, because it is it's ward, but ward prevents both physical and arcane. This only prevents arcane. I do think this is interesting with somebody like Florian, because it can just be like you play this in response to a small just small chip damage for arcane. It then leaves, and if Florian's abilities on online, you get 2 embodiment of Earths, which you pump up the things that you're blocking with. Like it's good for I would say like mixed damage when you're facing down mixed damage turns.
Yeah.
Because this could prevent, like if you block Arcane Shelter 1 with this, and it makes 2 sigils, and then you block with, let's say, 2 non-attack actions, then this kind of blocked for 5, in a way.
Yeah.
It kind of has to go right, and that's a very defensive line because you're using 3 cards in your hand. But this 1 card then blocked for 5. I think that's like a pretty charitable way to look at it. That's probably what you would want to see for this to be like super worth it. But I mean, the fact that it itself is an Earth card, so then you can banish it to Florian, to like abilities or whatever to help turn Florian's effect on. Like it's intriguing. I don't know exactly how relevant it's going to be, but it is what it is.
I don't think it's relevant at all for Constructed, to be honest. I think this is a limited card that you bring in if your opponent is a Runeblade. That's basically what I think this card is. Yeah,
could be. Yeah,
it's just a rare, by the way. So this is a card that will appear often and limited.
Yeah, and it's nice to see Arcane Shelter being something that you can, draft or get in your seal pools that will stop you from just dying to arcane damage, which is what has happened before. Along with the Sanctuary of Aria card as well. Will stop you from just dying on board to something you can't block, which is fair enough. So going down the list here, we got another one called Sigil of Deadwood. So this is a Runeblade action aura. This one blocks for 2. This is not an instant. This is just an action card. It's a blue pitch 0-cost card. With Go Again, it says at the beginning of your action phase, destroy this. So when you play this, you're getting nothing for it. But you are playing a Runeblade action, which can turn on Viscerai, can turn on other things as well. So you can play this for nothing. And then it says, when this leaves the arena, create a rune chant token. So on the start of your next turn, this will pop and give you a rune chant. If Florian's turned on, gives you 2 rune chants. If you got Mordred Tide, gives you... Well, no, actually, no, you'd have to play Mordred Tide, so that doesn't work. But you know what I'm getting at here. It's just a rune chant generator. So...
Yeah, I find it interesting because it is... it's a Runeblade non-attack action, which is relevant in all the Runeblades that we've seen. without having access to specifically Rosetta Thorn, it's a little bit weirder. I think it's probably fine in something like OTK Viscerai, because it is a non-attack action that then, you know, the Viscerai's ability is now like online. So you could go this into Read the Runes, you make the 5 rune chance, and then you get an additional one on the next turn. So it's like fine. I just don't see it in really anything else, because I don't think Vincent wants this card, because it's not Blood Debt, it's not Rune Gate, it's only one rune chant and next turn. It is like at the start of your turn though, so you could banish something with like Rune Gate 2 or something, and then with her ability plus this, that makes it free. I don't know if that's necessarily worthwhile. But
that's not Jay.
Yeah. Jay, let us know if Vincent's interested in this card.
I think this could be cool. Maybe for Florian, but I'm just thinking about this as like you get the rune chant on layaway, which means you don't get it for this attack, but it does help you set up for a bigger attack in the future. So you could do like Sigil of Deadwood into the oh crap, I forget the name of the weapon. Why do I not remember the name of the weapon? Viscerai's original sword, right? It gets Nebula Blade. It gets +3 if you've done a non-attack. So you can go Sigil into Nebula Blade for 4, and then it hits and creates a rune chant on the back end, and then on your next turn this will pop and you'll get another rune chant. So you'll have like more rune chants for that turn. Like I like the whole kind of like layaway system. It kind of like banks you some. And this is a common, so if this is a full cycle, like if there's a red version of this that gives you 3, yo, now we're cooking. Now we're cooking.
I didn't think of that.
That one would be really good.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's pretty good. Cool. So just going down the list here, we've got another one called Sigil of Cycles, which is a generic one, and Sigil of Fyendal, which is another generic one. So 2 generic sigils that you can use in any of your decks. So that says to me that there might be more. If you have sigil cards, you get this for all classes, potentially. But yeah, these are both blue pitch, 0 cost generic action auras that block for 2. One of them says, at the beginning of your action phase, destroy this. When this leaves the arena, discard a card and draw a card. So that's pretty good for fixing a hand, potentially. Maybe getting some resources, discarding a red, getting a blue, you know, that sort of thing. Or just trying to find more damage. It's quite cool. And then we've got Sigil of Fyendal, which says, when this leaves the arena, gain 1 life. Which, again, in things like Verdance, will then ping for an arcane damage, blah, blah, blah. So those are the ones that any heroes can use on that front. Which is just more cool stuff. I like the discard one, though. I like that one more.
Me too. I think Sigil of Cycles is like pretty good, actually. And it's one of those cards that it's like, if Flesh and Blood ever makes a hero that cares about like Graveyard Matters type stuff, if they ever make like a Reanimator style hero or something, Necromancer or something, this is a card that you're like gonna go look at, because discarding a card and drawing a card at the start of your turn is like pretty sick, actually. Like, yeah, I don't know. This seems good. And if you can get like value out of it being a sigil or an aura, that's even better. So I like it.
I'll tell you what, this is also good in as well. Good in Rhinar, because straight away you start your turn, discard a card, you intimidate, and then you just draw a card. So you get a free intimidate at the start of your turn.
It's actually really good. Yeah. Actually, though, and it's a blue. Doesn't block 3, but actually... Hey, Ian, if you're still watching, is this good in Rhinar? It seems actually kind of cracked. Good call, Az. That's. I think it's. That sounds good.
Yeah. And that turns on your Splatter Skull because you've intimidated through Rhinar's ability. So you're just getting all that for free, basically, by having a Sigil of Cycles. But we'll see if that gets played in Brute. But yeah, and then there's 4 other sigils as well, which are all. I should say they're all. Well, of course, they're all sigils, but there's some different ones here, which are slightly... They were spoiled by FAB today, I think. Flesh and Blood site today.
I think so.
Promos,
then, we've got... so promos. So we've got another Arcane Shelter. This one's Sigil of Conductivity. This is the Lightning Instant Aura. Arcane Shelter 1, so similar to the other one. When this leaves the arena, create an embodiment of lightning.
Sure.
So...
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah. It seems like it could be really good in like. So wait, embodiment of lightning. Let me look at that one more time. So the embodiment of lightning, that one does whenever you play an attack action card. Oh, okay. I was gonna say it sounds really sweet for the wizard, but maybe not as much.
Yeah, that's what I'm liking about Aurora and embodiments of lightning in particular is that they crack on attack action cards only, so you can still swing your weapon. So what you can do is you can still, and this is why I like the idea of what's happening here, is that you've got cards that say your next lightning or rune blade attack, not attack action card, gets +3. I think there was a card spoiled that I mentioned briefly on the last week's pod, which means you can still swing your weapon and have it buffed without cracking any embodiments of lightning. So it just means you can bank an embodiment of lightning for next turn when you might have a bigger attack action to put under it. So yeah, I like the space that's in, basically. But yeah, so next one is Sigil of the Arc Knight, another Viserai-esque card, and of course the Arc Knight. So this is a blue pitch. These are all blue pitch block 2s, I should say, and I'm just reading them all out at this point. Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's all right.
All good.
But yeah, so at the beginning of your action phase, destroy this. When this leaves the arena, reveal the top card of your deck. If it's an attack action card, put it into your hand. So just draw a card. That's pretty good.
Conditional draw a card.
Yeah.
This is. I like this one too, but I feel like it's gonna screw me over if I try to play it. Like, this is a card where I'm like, oh sweet, this is gonna draw me a card, and then like 4 out of 5 times this is not gonna draw me anything. It's just gonna reveal the top card of my deck. But on the times that it does, it seems like a really powerful setup card, right? Because you play this on your previous turn to basically draw an extra card for your other turn. I mean, imagine this. If you're somehow able to make sure the top card of your deck is an attack action card with something, if you play like 3 of these in a single turn, because they all have go again, right? So you can go sigil, 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 pass, and then your next turn you just like reveal the card and then you just draw 3. That seems really good. The problem is in Flesh and Blood you draw your hand at the end of your turn. So if you go sigil, 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 you draw cards, you'll draw up, so you won't necessarily know what the next card is. So I don't know, like you kind of have to fiddle with it, and it could be super, super powerful, or it could just do nothing. And I do like it because of that. So
yeah, it's the same. It's the same sort of card, same sort of feel as old Runeblade players used to get out of Tome of the Arc Knight. Do you remember that card?
Yeah, I cut it from a lot of my decks because it screwed me over so much.
Exactly, and it's similar to Sonata Arcanix as well, where you want to reveal a perfect 50-50 split of non-attacks and attacks, and there is no way of guaranteeing that's going to happen. It's just pure pot luck.
But like Sonata gets around it because you try to do like a really big number, so you try to like mitigate that by revealing a whole bunch. And this is like literally just one card. If you reveal it, and if it's that, then you're good. And what's great about having multiples of these in play is because you'll just keep revealing the same card, right? Because that revealed card doesn't do any. Oh no, you put it in your hand, so you'd have to run the gamut,
so
right?
It triggers 3 times.
Yeah, so you'd have to like reveal, draw, reveal, draw, reveal, draw. Yeah.
Which is a bit of a shame, but hey ho. But yeah, that's something that maybe all those Runeblade cards want to fix. Maybe there's some piece of equipment that allows you to manipulate top of your deck, but that's Azalea. So
hear me out. Runeblade deck, every card in your deck is an attack action except for Sigil of the Arc Knight, so you always hit 100% of the time when you play it. So if you go 3, you can go into your turn and like with like a 7 card hand, because you'd have your 4 cards and then 3 from this. Maybe it's probably terrible.
Hilarious.
It's probably terrible.
That'd be gross.
But I want to do it in Blitz. It seems sweet and Blitz, so
that'll be funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then 2 more left. Who wants to read these next ones out? They're wizard cards.
Oh, give them to Bill. Bill.
Sure.
You're excited about the pylon, man. So our pylon being.
It is apparently it is a him now. Brian would say it's a him, or used to be. I don't know. We'll see.
Pylon friend. All right, so we have Sigil of Forethought. Like with all the other sigils, this is a blue that costs 0. This one is an instant aura. At the beginning of your action phase, destroy this. When this leaves the arena, create a ponder token. Intriguing. It's kind of like Sigil of the Arc Knight, except it's guaranteed card draw at the end of your turn. It's a little bit interesting. I don't hate having a guaranteed arsenal for wizards specifically.
Interesting.
I think This could also be good in Verdance, because Verdance does appear to want to play on her own turn, which is something that Wizards haven't really had much need to do previously. But her ability is specifically whenever you gain life during your turn, then she deals the damage. So it is likely that Verdance is going to want to run out of cards during her turn to do the damage, and then maybe like switch to more defensive on the opponent's turn. I don't know. Either way, this could be interesting just to have that guaranteed arsenal on a turn that you want to do something else.
Yeah.
I don't know if that makes it necessarily good enough. Again, there might be additional interactions with cards that are called Sigil, or auras that are called Sigil, or whatever. That might make it even more intriguing. Who's to say?
I think the best part about this card is that it's an instant. I've been thinking about it. If this was just an action with Go Again, it would kind of suck, because then you'd have to wait like an entire like turn cycle, because you'd play this, you'd have to wait till your next turn to pop, and then you'd be able to do the ponder. Because this is an instant, you draw this at the end, you draw this up at the end of your turn, and then you can just pop this on your opponent's turn, right? And then it'll immediately give you that ponder on your next turn to just set you up for another turn, your next turn to have like 5 cards. So definitely like another setup card. There's a lot of setup cards. A lot of these sigils are kind of like, you know, setting you up for later, which is interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's I find this one to be pretty intriguing, actually.
It's blue. I don't know. Like, I think this might be something Wizards like. This feels like a very wizardy card to me. Yeah.
Well, the next card is basically your Kano for a turn.
Yes.
Well, to a certain degree, anyway.
This one I'm kind of terrified by. But yeah, so the next one is Sigil of Temporal Manipulation.
The name.
Blue 0 instant. At the beginning of your action phase, destroy this. When this leaves the arena, banish the top card of your deck. If it's a non-attack action card, you may play it this turn as though it were an instant. So it is.
Bro.
It's a Kano activation that, like, you're kind of just paying for a Kano activation.
But it's free.
But
it's 0.
It's for free, and like you could play this. You could play this before you draw up for your turn. To have this banked for like your next turn, which I think is interesting. It's kind of the inverse of what we were just talking about with the Ponder one.
You know what this is? This is just the non-attack version of Sigil of the Arknight, right? Like, it essentially kind of draws you the card. I mean, you can't pitch it; you just have to play it from your banish. But it kind of is like the non-attack version, right? It does similar things.
Yeah, that's what Wizard wants to anyway. I think that's gonna be mental on your turn.
This card is gonna this one's gonna hit. So here's the thing. This stupid card is gonna hit way more often than the Sigil of the Arknight, because you're playing Wizard. Almost all your cards are gonna be non-attack actions, right? Like the percentage that this hits and is actually usable compared to the Arknight one, unless you're doing some shenanigans, seems really high. This card's gonna kill people, I think. Yeah.
I think the only thing is that this probably doesn't see play in Kano, because Kano is specifically setting up, like wanting to set up the perfect conditions, which usually requires you to go off in response to your opponent attacking you, because then they have the least amount of cards in hand.
That's true.
And like, so having this available for Kano at the start of your own turn, I think is probably the least impactful time for this effect to happen, specifically for Kano. I think that, like, from what we've seen thus far with, again, like Verdance seems to want to play on her own turn. So having this on her turn, great. Absolutely. Having, for Ausilio, he seems to want to do something on each player's turn, I think. I think he's kind of a guy that he's just going to do what he does, pretty irrespective of whose priority it is.
Very much so.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm intrigued by this one. I think that it's weird that this doesn't feel good for existing Wizards, but it feels good for the new ones.
I mean,
that's an interesting design space to hit.
I'm curious as to what like hardcore Kano players think of this, because maybe
I'm not a Kano player,
like maybe this is just good enough. Like drawing an extra card on your turn is just good enough to just kill your opponent, even if they have a full hand. Like maybe it's just good enough to do that.
Something that is an intriguing consideration. It does require a lot of luck, although you might be able to set it up properly. But with Kano, if this hits an energy potion, hell yeah, baby.
I mean, like, it's so good. Like, This can
You
hit
could
like
just do a double E-pot turn.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah. You say that,
Yeah.
but then my brain immediately goes to like, yeah, but what if it's a crazy brew? A double crazy brew turn.
yeah.
Crazy brew.
Well,
UPF
Yeah, I
this
mean-
card. Yeah.
yeah. We'll see. But yeah, that's pretty much all the spoilers this week that have been showed by content creators and LSS themselves. I think we are due some more over the next few weeks. I think a few events might be having some, as well as some other ones as well. But we'll see how that goes. But yeah, what do you think? Leave a comment in the section below. Let us know what you think of these sigil cars, what they might entail. Splatter Skull, Flutter Steps, some new expansion slot cars. Let us know what your feelings are on those, and hopefully we can get to it next time.
One thing I do want to point out that I think is really cool that we haven't talked about on the podcast yet is the new Rune Chant token. There's a new Rune Chant token with new art, and it has this green border, and so it's basically flavored for Florian specifically, which I think is really cool. And I would love to see them do this more with other tokens and flavor them more around like the heroes. So like, you know, maybe Spectral Shields will get a special border and art for like, you know, if they make another Draconic, Illusionist, maybe it gets like a fiery one or something. I don't know. I think it's cool. I just wanted to point it out. Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, we saw a little bit of that as well in like things like Bright Lights, where the Quicken token was them like pouring the mold into the machinery and stuff. So I think we have seen a little bit of that as well. So that's nice to see as well. If you want to bling out your tokens for your respective classes and heroes, you can do that as well, which is nice. But yeah, that is pretty much it for the podcast this week. We've tried to keep it under the time frame because Bill is working to a little bit of a time frame. He's a busy man at the moment.
Yeah.
Hey,
So
I got lots
yeah,
of
that felt
things
about right.
to do.
Yes. Do we have anyone has Arsenal Step? I only have one, but it's super quick. It's like a couple sentences. I just want to.
I guess I do. I mean, one of the things that I'm busy with, I have a lot of appointments to take my car in to get fixed. Because like tomorrow I need to drop it off to get the windshield replaced. This Friday I'm getting safety inspection done. But the reason that I'm doing all of that and that I have to is because I got a new car.
Oh, let's go.
I'm doing all the things necessary to get rid of the old one. So I'm very excited. It's a much newer and much nicer car than what I was driving around. My previous car was a 2007 Toyota Corolla, and
Nice.
my new one is a 2017 Nissan Rogue.
Oh, Rogue, let's go.
Yeah, so much
Nice.
bigger. Going to be good because between myself and my partner, we both drive, or I guess had really small cars. So being able to transport literally anything is going to be a big upgrade.
I feel that.
God, yeah.
We just have one car. It's Robin's car, and it's like a little Ford Fiesta hatchback thing. So it's like we don't have a ton of space in the car. So we need to enlist people who have like trucks if we need to go get furniture or something. Like, but it's good to have friends who have trucks.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh God, yeah.
And
Yeah.
in the US, that's pretty common. So if you don't have a truck, you probably know someone who owns a truck. I love how Bill, your stuff is just like all just like serious real life things. Just like you're like, I fixing my internet provider. I need to go do, stuff with my car.
Yeah, it's I've just been busy, man. Been busy being an adult.
My
Yeah. Fun times, eh?
Also positive though, while we were talking here, I was able to get my phone bill sorted out as well. So I'm going to be saving a bunch of money on that too. The switch for my internet, this is nothing to do with Flesh and Blood, but previously I checked it out for the total annual cost of my internet plan. Per year, I was paying for gigabit internet and was getting about 100 megs. So I was getting like a tenth of the advertised speed. I complained about it a bunch and they were just like, it's fine. So I was like, well, no. And I don't want to cancel right now because I'll get a bunch of cancellation fees and that sucks even more. Annually that internet was costing me like almost $2,000. It was like $1,800 a year. This new plan, if I get the advertised speed, it'll be exactly the same as what I was getting, and it's $1,000 less a year. It's like
Brilliant.
$60 a month or something.
You know.
So huge, big adult savings. Hell yeah.
You can relate that to Flesh and Blood because that gives you more money to spend on Flesh and Blood cards.
That's like the cost of 2 cases. That's an extra 2 cases a year. Hell yeah.
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 That's like, you know, if you want to go to an event, there you go. It's like one event.
What was that?
I have no idea.
What happened?
It's the sigil of temporal manipulation.
Yeah. for the audio only people, Bill just blipped out of existence for like half a second. Like, I don't know, it's weird.
Yeah.
The blip.
What timeline is this?
Yeah. My Flesh and Blood. My Arsenal Step, that's what this is called. Also very tangentially has to do with Flesh and Blood in the smallest of ways, but I can relate it to Flesh and Blood, even though this is supposed to be not really related to Flesh and Blood. And it's very simple. I've been really enjoying Diablo 4. The new Diablo 4 season came out. It's the last season before the expansion. They've completely overhauled their loot system. They've redone all of the uniques in the game. They've added a whole bunch of new uniques. They added this cool new like horde mode. It's very, very good. It's very, very fun. It's Diablo 4 is like the best that it's ever been, and I think this is one of the things where the community is also really like, oh, this is actually great. So Diablo 4, it's great. I've been playing with my partner. I have almost 2 characters at level 100 now, Rogue, obviously, and also my Barbarian that I named Crom. If you know anything about Conan the Barbarian, I like naming my Barbarian Crom, you know, Riddle of Steel and all that good stuff. And yeah, it's been great. And it's related to Flesh and Blood in that one of the systems designers or class designers for Diablo 4 is Charles Dunn, the Flesh and Blood US champion from last year. And he's also part of Team Runaways. So it's related a little bit. So yeah, Diablo 4, it's good. I'm really looking forward to the expansion coming out in October. It's also like, if you want a game to play with your partner or friend or whatever, it's like the best couch co-op game. She and I played Diablo 3 a lot because of it, and we play Diablo 4 now because of it. It's really good. It's fun. So, yeah.
Good stuff. Nice. Well, my Arsenal step is very, very short and sweet. So I'm not sure if I mentioned it on the podcast, but I rolled my ankle playing football.
You did, I think. Yeah.
The week before the UK Nats. So it was week before UK Nats. I rolled it, and I haven't done any exercise since that incident. So what's that? Maybe a month or 2 ago. I didn't go to doctor because I never do. I just don't bother. I haven't been in like 15 years. I just let stuff heal on its own. And then
I think he froze. Oh, there we go.
Hey, we're back.
Temporal blip.
I was just like, you know what? Might as well be time for my technology to screw up this time. We had as is Mike. We had Bill just blip out of existence for a second. Sure, let's just have my thing freeze for like 10 seconds. So the last that the audience heard was you rolled your ankle, and that was like a couple months ago. Mm-hmm. That's the last we heard. What else? I'm sorry.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Nice. Well, yeah. Basically, I played tennis again for the first time today in 2 months. So I'm getting back to being able to do exercise again, which is why my hair looks like this today, because I haven't had a shower since I got in. But yeah. So yeah, it's nice to know that stuff still heals, and you know I can still actually get on to do some exercise again, which is nice.
Yeah, you're not so old where your body's completely, you know, eroded and decroded and falling apart. Your leg didn't just fall off, you know.
Exactly. Yeah. So you can still do those things, and you take those things for granted as well sometimes. Like, you know, it's amazing how much a rolled ankle can really annoy you because you can't do the basic things. So, you know, make the most of the time that you've got with your limbs and with your things and with your stuff that you can do in this day and age, because ultimately we will not be able to do those things. So it just made me realize, bloody hell, I miss hitting a ball across a net. You know, so yeah, was quite profound. I was like, bloody hell, I'm 34 now. I've rolled my ankle. I'm out of action for 2 months because I've landed on my ankle funny, and now I can play again. It's like, wow, this is great. I can do things again.
It's just gonna get worse, man. I'm not that much older. I'm 36, but like I feel it, man. Like sometimes, like
exactly.
Sometimes I'll just like step down on something weird, and then like my whole leg will feel like in pain for like the next day for no reason. I'm just like, well, this sucks. And I have like, we have 2 flights of stairs going from the downstairs to the up. So like just walking up the stairs just sucks for the day. And it's just, yeah, things like that. Things like that'll happen. You'll
Yep.
pull your arm will hurt because you slept on it weird or something. Yeah.
Yeah. Little niggling things as you get older. So just make the most of what you can when you can, really. That's my advice.
I imagine most people listening to this are probably either our age or younger, I would guess. I'm sure there's some folks who are older than us, but you know, with the average age on this podcast, probably around like mid 30s. You know, we're in that time, you know.
Yeah. And we're all barreling towards the end eventually.
You froze again, but yes, barreling towards the end. The inevitable encroaching darkness surrounding us.
Exactly. Acceptance of fate. But yeah, can you hear me again now?
That actually worked really well. No, it's good. No, it's great because you froze and I just started talking about the empty void and just all of us, you know, fading into nothingness. And you came back in at a great spot, so that worked pretty well.
Well, perfect, brilliant, really navigating the issues today. But that's pretty much it for the podcast this week. As Bill has to head off and do some stuff, adult stuff, and I want to go to sleep. So I've been Az from Going Gaming. You can find me on Going Gaming on YouTube and Going Gaming AZ on X or Twitter, which is below us on the screens now. So you can go and navigate there if you want to see our posts and stuff. And then I'll throw it over to Bill next.
Yeah, I'm Bill from the Spike Feeders. You can find me on social media at BillTSF. You can also find me on YouTube at the Spike Feeders FAB. That's Spike Feeders FAB. There's a second smaller channel, but that's where our Flesh and Blood stuff is. You should definitely go check it out. We are currently working on getting some new content out, but there's been kind of a crunch on our development schedule and our editing schedule. We're doing a lot of Magic the Gathering stuff, but the channel is not dead yet. So keep an eye out. Thank you for your patience.
Yeah, what do you mean by that?
It's not dead yet.
It's not dead. Not dead yet. And speaking of not dead yet, hi, it's me. You can find me at all of the Red Zone Rogue places. YouTube, Twitter. YouTube, I've been doing a lot of Shadowverse stuff, I've been getting into Vanguard, which has been great. So if you're into that game, go ahead and check it out and join me on my little Vanguard journey as I start playing the game. It's really, really fun. And occasionally when I feel like it, I'll upload another Flesh and Blood video. We'll see when that happens. Maybe we'll talk about Florian or something. I don't know. And or you can follow me on Twitter where I post about various things and stuff. Yeah, that's me. Hello.
Fantastic. Awesome. Well, thanks everybody who's joined us. Thanks everybody who's come over from the audio versions. Like, subscribe, and make sure you keep doing that. That'll be fantastic. And we'll see you all over again next week here on the Living Legends podcast. Cheers, folks.
Bye.
Have a good one.
Bye.